Hello everybody, John Control back here again with another video, and today I bring you another Dragon Ball Z video. Today actually marks the, I want to say 500th video I've put out on YouTube, and that's pretty interesting to say the least. I mean, I've moderately put a good number of, videos every week, but then when you look at it in perspective, it's like, wow, I've uploaded that many videos, and it's kind of crazy to look at it. It's like either A, it's fucking awesome, or B, it's like, was that a complete waste of time? I don't really know. But the point I'm trying to get across is that I've reached 500 videos, and I'm very close to 300 subscribers and whatnot, and we're just moving off of that and getting into the what we're here to talk about in general, which is, of course, Dragon Ball Z. What better way to start off the reign of 500 videos than a Dragon Ball Z video? So, last year, I made a video titled The Future of Dragon Ball Z. And this one's kind of going to be like a segue to that. That's kind of like the overall topic I want to go through again. But the main topic, which is, I guess, going to be what the title of this video is, will Dragon Ball Z ever end? Will the series ever end? It's a question that I ask myself all the time because Dragon Ball Z, even though it officially ended back in the 90s, legitimately through the manga, and then later through the anime, it's still kind of ongoing. I mean, Toei Animation has made its fucking stance on where they stand on Dragon Ball Z as a whole. I mean, like, they continue to remaster it to crazy numbers. They did Dragon Ball GT, they put out video games almost every fucking year, and, not to mention the movies. And now you have this year, 2015, which, recording March of 2015, is kind of like the biggest year for DBZ just in general. I mean, like, 3 major things have happened already in this year for DBZ, and upping the popularity, and showing that the popularity for DBZ is still alive, which is, A, the Robot Underdogs Light of Hope series, which is a fan-made web series if you've not seen it already. I've made a review on the pilot. Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse, which some people are saying is the greatest fucking DBZ video game ever, which is saying a lot, seeing as how majority of all DBZ games are meh, so there's that. And then, of course, the creme de la creme of all this is Fugatsu no F, which is the newest DBZ movie by Toriyama, which is the sequel to Battle of Gods, that comes out later this year, technically next month. So there's a lot of freaking awesome content coming out of DBZ. But the thing that I question is whether or not it's going to continue being an ongoing series, or is it going to end? We already know that they've already spent out a lot of time in between the time gap between DBZ Battle of Gods / the end of the Buu arc towards the ending last chapter of the manga. They've already spent that arc. So where do you go from there? It's really interesting because, granted, it's kind of clearly stated that in the end of the chapter, everybody hasn't really seen each other that much in between. But in this movie, it kind of implies, in these movies that's happened already, it kind of implies that they've been hanging out a lot and having adventures for a long period of time in between this time gap. So my question is, if Fugatsu no F does do great money and it's a great success, which I'm pretty sure it's going to, be, I mean, I haven't seen the movie yet. The movie hasn't come out officially yet, but my guess is I can go out on a limb here and say that Fugatsu no F is going to be 10 times better than Battle of Gods, not only critically, but it's going to be fucking awesome fan service for fans, and of course it's pretty much going to make a lot of money. I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure it will. But if it does do that, where do you go from there? I mean, like, do you make another movie? Does a Toriyama come back? Or what happens? Because, okay, sure, you have another movie, but what is that movie going to be? Are you going to continuing this time gap, or are you going to reintroduce the characters after the events of the last chapter and continue the series and make it an ongoing series in the movies? It's a real good question because I thought about this not too long ago about if Fugatsu no F is awesome and Toei Animation's like, well, we want to make a third movie, and Toriyama's like, okay, sure, I'll join in, fuck it, I have enough time to do it, why not? they go ahead and do a third movie. What is that third movie gonna be like? What is it gonna be? Is it gonna be a continuation of this storyline, or is it gonna be its own thing, or is it gonna be like the old movies where we're gonna go back to the non-canon movies? And it's a good question because it's not out of the realm of possibility that any of this is gonna happen. I mean, like, Fugatsu no F is created solely because Battle of Gods was so successful. And if Fugatsu no F is very successful, they're probably going to make a third movie or another anime series. And that's the other question. Where do you go from here? Personally, I love Dragon Ball Z. It's the number one thing I care about more than anything. I mean, as you all know, if you're a fan and or subscriber or a viewer of any of my content, then you would know that I'm a hardcore Batman fan. He's my number one comic book character. He's my number one superhero character. But DBZ tops Batman for me personally. DBZ and Goku specifically tops Batman for me. So you can basically take that and tell that obviously I'm a huge fan of DBZ. But on top of this, I love opening and ending storylines. I like a story to have a beginning, middle, and end. I'm not really big on the series that has no real outline and doesn't have an end point. I'm not really big on that. But then when you have characters that you've enjoyed so many years and have loved and cared for so many years, then that theory kind of changes where you're like, you don't want to see them go, so you just want to continue milking the cow and continue to, do fan service and just like, you want to see more. Personally, I love Dragon Ball Z. It's definitely one of the biggest things I love more than anything, more than comic books, more than superheroes, more than video games, more than movies, more than television. I love DBZ more than I love DC or Marvel Studios combined. That's how much I love DBZ. But if it's going to be an ongoing series, where do you go from here? Do you continue doing a manga series? And if you do, will Toriyama have any involvement with it? Which is another good question because they've kind of already started doing more manga chapters, which are supposed to be, a prelude to Fugatsu no F? And if I'm not mistaken, Toriyama, I don't think he has any involvement with the creation of that story. I don't think he's the artist. I don't think he's the writer of that manga. I could be wrong because I haven't checked out the manga because I don't need no spoilers. But for those of you who have checked out that manga, definitely, tell me in the comment section below if Toriyama had any involvement with it. But from my basic knowledge of it, I doubt he does. And if that's an indicator of a manga, DBZ manga that's coming out that he has no involvement with, will this be like an ongoing thing where Toriyama, he's getting older, he's not going to want to do DBZ for the rest of his remaining years, if you will, and obviously Toei Animation loves milking the cow because they don't have, what else are they going to milk? DBZ is the biggest thing they have, so why not milk that shit and fucking make more DBZ content, which pretty sure they're going to continue to do until they fucking go bankrupt like Sony or something. So that's there. So okay, manga series. Post Fugatsu no F, keep that in mind. Post Fugatsu no F, if they decide to go through another manga series, will Toriyama have any involvement with it? I have no idea, but based off this one manga shot that's a prelude to the movie, my guess is, if Toriyama doesn't want to do another manga, I find it very unlikely that just because he doesn't want to do it, doesn't mean it's never going to happen. It's a possibility that someone could take the mantle of creating original storylines for the DBZ characters that we all know and love, and continue going on from there. It happens all the fucking time. New writers come in, new creators. It's an ongoing series, so why not just, okay, the creator's done, let's take up what he left off and go from here. Okay, on there, you have the movie / ongoing series in the anime. A lot of people have been speculating that a new anime series could come out post Fugatsu no F. Now, personally, it's the same thing like the manga theory in my mind. I mean, personally, Toriyama, once again, he stated that he's not really big on doing DBZ again in the length that he did back in the early, back in the early 90s and in the late 80s. He's not going to fucking waste, decades of coming up with storylines and doing all the artwork and trying to, work on the anime and all that crazy nonsense. He's not going to go through that nonsense anymore. I don't know what's his stand on it now, but based off what we've heard in the past, it seems like he obviously doesn't want to do an ongoing series again. He just wants to go back to DBZ when he feels like it, and when he feels that it's appropriate for him to bring new story arcs, which is cool and awesome. I mean, I love the movies. Battle of Gods was awesome. If Gods no F looks like it's going to be better, which is cool. But the big thing for fans is whether or not it's going to flower, if you will, into an anime series, a new anime series, a future DBZ series that takes place after the last chapter, which is kind of like a reboot of DBGT. I really don't know. I find it very unlikely, but if they ever did, I get the feeling that if Toriyama was like done, like after these slew of movies, I personally think that Toei Animation would just do what they did with GT, just like make a new thing, just based off this new kind of information we have on the movies. Post Fugatsu no F. If it's successful, will they make another movie? I'm pretty sure they will. Will Toriyama have any involvement with it? We have to wait and see. And at the end of the day, the big thing that I want to know is that is it going to be in between the time gap once again, or will it be after the martial arts tournament between Goku and Oob? And if it's not, is Toei Animation going to go back to non-canon movies? That's what I really want to know. And at the end of the day, the overall topic of this overall video is just to get all you DBZ fans to tell me, what do you personally think would happen out of all the topics I pointed out? And of course, what do you think is the future of DBZ? When do you think it's ever going to end? Would you want DBZ to continue being an ongoing series? And if not, where do you think it could end? And of course, if Fugatsu no F is amazing and does great bank, which I'm pretty sure it's going to do, will they make another movie? And if that movie is canon, will it stay in the time gap, or will it be post Goku versus Oob martial arts tournament and forward? And if not, will Toei Animation go back to non-canon movies? That's what I personally want to know. Let me know what you personally think in the comments section below. Hope you guys really enjoyed this video. This has been just another DBZ topic that I've been doing over the course. I mean, I've done the Bardock video. Definitely check that out. I did the Beerus video, definitely check that out. And of course, my first DBZ video of last year, which was the future of Dragon Ball Z, definitely check that out as well, because that's kind of like a prelude to these videos, if you will. So definitely check out those videos. Subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. Hope you guys enjoyed. This has been John 12.